Werewolf build is already in a solid spot, but it's missing one thing: explosions. And you know what's better than explosions? Multiple explosions. The good news is you can do this with a super cheap setup, just a few skill gems and supports. What's up guys, Pidget here. This is my update video for my Werewolf shaman, but you can use this setup on any Werewolf setup. It doesn't matter if you do it on Oracle or even on Monk or Amazon, it doesn't matter. You can just use this, I would say, new old tech that we was using in the last couple of leagues now. So the tech is very simple. You're using Herald of Ice that will provide you the big shatters and also cold wave when you killing a frozen enemy, so that will, you know, deal damage around it. And also we are adding to the mix Herald of Ash that is also doing an explosions around the target, and based on the overkill it will ignite the enemies and that will be, you know, deal damage to them. This part is very well known at this point, but this league we get a new support gem for this setup, and that is the Frozen Spite. What is Frozen Spite doing? When the support is killing a frozen enemy, it will trigger ice fragments. Ice fragments that we ripping off with our shred from the frozen targets. That is the main damage source for the majority of the Werewolf builds. And literally this support gem is giving you the same thing, but there is a one big difference, and that is it will deal based on the enemy maximum health as cold damage. This could blow up a whole pack without an issue, because this is percentage based life that is scaling where with the levels. So if you're doing, you know, higher tier maps, you're also doing juice maps with like monster life as well, that is also getting boosted by this one, so you will not really feel the differences. Only one single drawback on this support gem, and that is the detonation time, because it's 1.5 seconds. But we can lower down, by the way, that one as well with short fuse if you willing to do that. But honestly, the thing is, I feel like this 1.5 detonation time is pretty acceptable as well, especially when you're doing very dense maps like, you know, Abyss Farming and Ritual as well. Because Ritual, they spawning on the same spot, so these Frozen Spite explosions, the Ice Fragments explosions will make a God's work there, and it will feel pretty damn nice. And also the Abyss, when you're completing the initial starting one, emerging out of the ground like the big rare monsters, right? Then you already have this Frozen Spite ready to just blow them up immediately, so you're not even noticing there was rare monsters. One single new thing as well, guys, we added to the pounds, so that is also not exclusive to the Werewolf shaman. You can add to the pounds blazing critical attacks, gains 50% of damage as fire damage for 5 seconds on critically hitting with supported skills. Because we have high critical chance, we have very nice uptime on the blazing critical that is also improving your clear significantly, and this is also applies to your Herald of Ice explosion, such, and also like your Lunar Blessing as well applies to that one. So you have a very nice, and also signal target as well. This is works. While you clearing the maps, the explosions will looking pretty damn nice and also pretty satisfying as well, and useful at the same time as well, because you can just literally clear a whole almost screen sometimes because of your Lunar Blessing Moonbeam proc as well, because that can also proc your Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash together, and also Cold and Fire theme together looks pretty nice, especially when it's happening on the screen. Today I only want to cover what setup you need to for that, because there is a lot of changes in my build. As you can see here, I'm on CI and I have a pretty hefty amount of energy shield, right? So this is another video, okay guys? This is just a little teaser what you will see in the next couple of days. And now, so the clear setup, guys. So once again, okay, so the pounds, guys. On the pounds, we're using micro siphoning, the Herald of Ash setup. So that is not really a big deal, because you're using Fire Mastery and Magnifying Aura, and basically that's it, because there is no support gems that can affect this damage sadly. So basically this is your whole setup, because I wanted to add so many other things, but there is none really. Maybe you can add like a lineage support that is expensive, by the way, but you can also increase your level, but honestly that is not scaling that much with the levels, so it's not worth the hustle in my opinion. And Herald of Ice, so this is entirely new, right? We was using this on very early stages of this build, but this is coming back because the explosions is looking good, and with the Herald of Ash, how it's looking, the whole explosions is just very nice. So the setup looks like this. Cold Attunement, Frozen Spite. This is providing you the ice fragment when this ability is killing frozen enemies. Because with freezing enemies, right, with our Lunar Assault, we can literally every single time trigger this one very easily. And also, if you want, you can detonate with your Cross Slash as well, because it can pull all of your ice fragments as well into the target. So that is a kind of big deal. But honestly, on mapping, I was not noticing I need to do, because my Lunar Assault has enough damage to just literally, you know, 1 or 2 tap the rares as well, and the Frozen Spite will take care of the rest. And the next thing is Magnifying Area 2, more area, you know, and also Elemental Ornament 2 for now. And basically that is, you can sync it, I feel like, but I don't know what would be a good support gem for 6. And sadly, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot see the ice fragments damage because this is based on the enemy's maximum health. So if the enemy has like, let's say 5k health, that will become 500 cold damage, right? And it's a big question if we can scale that damage, but in PoE 1, you can scale the explosions damage and you can get extra damage on it, even poison and so on. But I don't know how it's working in Path of Exile 2, so I will not say it. You can scale this one with the levels, okay? So you can scale this one with your modifiers, such as like your crit chance and your increased cold damage, you know, all of this stuff. Charge mark, freezing mark, this is not new, right? And here is the blazing critical support. So once again, when you land a critical strike with your pounce, you will gain 50% of extra damage as fire, which is kind of good. And also that's like maybe like 10% more damage while you clearing. So yeah. So basically, guys, that's it for about that one, because basically this is the only thing that you need for this setup, nothing else really. So this setup feel very nice. And if you was looking at the, you know, the effects in the video, it's kind of insane in my opinion, and looks pretty cool and also helpful as well. And especially because your Lunar Assault as well can proc the Herald of Ice, and then it can proc the Herald of Ash as well. So basically you can literally just move around and just, there is like monsters here, and just literally blow up the whole pack without you attacking or something like that, or just pouncing there, right? And then the rest of will take care with your blessing moonbeams, and they will just blow up the whole screen. So especially if you're doing danced maps. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you have a question, please leave a comment below, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Pridget2. Thanks for watching. I was Pridget. See you next time.